Can we go ahead and get a roll call?
Jimenez? Davis?
Here.
Liccardo? Jones? Dieppe.
Present.
So I have Jimenez and Liccardo absent, just to confirm.
I believe so, but I feel they'll be
Okay.
joining us. So
Okay.
Oye, oye, oye. I hereby call this meeting of the Smart Cities and Service Improvements Committee to order. And with that, there are no work plans or any items, consent calendar items. We'll go straight to topics. Kip, take it away.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, council members, members of the public. We have 2 items today, and let's see who's got the screen sharing. It's not me, is it? Mr. Rob?
I do not have it. Do we have the presenters up?
Reggie, are you sharing the screen? There we go.
There we go. Okay, so I'm just going to jump right into our first of 2 items, which is really a digital inclusion branch update and overview of East Side Wi-Fi and everything that has become in the era of COVID. The only thing I'll say in terms of kind of annotation is that this item, like the digital development services transformation, which you'll see later, is obviously very much shifted in its focus and pivot toward the COVID response. And in many cases, this is simply turn the volume up on what we're doing and how we're doing it. So with that, I'll turn it over to Jill Bourne, our city librarian.
Thanks, Kip. Good afternoon, everyone. As Kip said, I'm Jill Bourne, city librarian in San Jose, but I'm also here today before you as the director of the Digital Inclusion Branch of the city's Emergency Operations Center. I'm joined today by Matt Kano, Director of Public Works, and Reggie Nair, the Digital Inclusion Branch team lead on Access East Side and community and civic Wi-Fi projects. Next slide. The committee is aware that the digital inclusion priority was identified some time ago, but has been a major focus of efforts during the COVID-19 pandemic crisis, as the need for social distancing and orders to shelter at home caused a sudden shift for all of our communities. Access in the home is clearly an urgent necessity for students of all ages to participate in education, and also for all residents to access important resources related to employment, health, and many other sectors. So now more than ever, a lack of digital connectivity tools and resources results in barriers for our residents to services, engagement, and learning opportunities. And in all these ways, exacerbates existing social and economic inequities for our communities. And next, to provide some context, you'll see much of the work we're discussing today actually initiated back in 2016. And with the advent of the Smart City Vision, City Council directed to develop an education and digital literacy strategy and the first Access Eastside Wi-Fi project at James Lick High School. In 2017, data was collected to understand the digital inclusion needs of our communities citywide, and the broadband and digital inclusion strategy was approved. In 2018, public-private partnerships were created with major telecommunications providers, and the Digital Inclusion Fund was created. Also, the education and digital literacy strategy was adopted, including expectations for quality standards and data collection for any city-sponsored programs. In 2019, work picked up in advancing the Digital Inclusion Fund processes, with the CETF coming on as board as partner, hiring staff, and developing an advisory board process. And then in 2020, the first round of DIF grants were distributed. Finally, in response to COVID-19 pandemic, City Council approved the Digital Inclusion Emergency Expenditure Plan, which included the full build out of Access Eastside Community Wi-Fi, the expansion of outdoor Wi-Fi at city facilities, and a fairly massive hotspot program distributing 12,800 AT&T hotspots to student households through their schools, and 3,000 hotspots to the general public through library checkout and partnerships with local organizations that serve high-need populations. So today, we're providing more in-depth update on the work done to advance the Access Eastside build-out and our outdoor Wi-Fi at city facilities. I'm going to turn it over to our team lead, Reggie, whom you know from the Office of Civic Innovation. Rajani has provided much of the brains and muscle and heart to make these projects happen. So over to you, Rajani.
Oh, thank you, Jill. So taking a closer look at on where we have deployed outdoor Wi-Fi to support our EOC digital inclusion efforts, here's a map of some of the Eastside Union High School attendance areas. The two that have been installed to date are James Lick and Overfeld. These attendance areas are shown having black dots that reflect the 200 Wi-Fi access nodes attached to the city streetlight and connected to the city's fiber network. The peach color dots on the bottom left of the screen is where we plan to deploy the 200 Wi-Fi access nodes for Yerba Buena in the next few weeks. One thing to note, the current Wi-Fi coverage is about 65 to 75% of each of the attendance areas where the residents live. So currently, based on census data, we have estimated that at least slightly less than 50,000 individuals are currently benefiting from the outdoor Wi-Fi within James Lick and Overfeld student attendance areas. Once the full build out of all 8 school attendance areas that have been completed, we estimate approximately over 300,000 individuals can benefit from this investment. So just a quick recap, this slide shows the summary of investments to be made in the near term to support the full build out, ongoing operations and maintenance, and the technology equipment refresh needed for each of the 8 school attendance areas shown. A huge special thanks to Eastside Union High School District and its Eastside Alliance partners for their financial support in helping the city end the digital divide. Now I'm going to pass it on to Matt to cover the next few slides.
Thanks, Rajani. Matt Kano, Director of Public Works. Thank you very much for your time today. These are interesting new type of projects for our Public Works Department. They're traditional sewer or sanitary or roadway. And at this time, although it's something we want to develop in the future, at this time we don't have the in-house expertise to do all the design work ourselves. And we are relying on consultants. As I just briefly mentioned, as these projects become more prevalent and more critical for our city and we get more of them, we're going to look at bringing some of this expertise more in-house in the future, but that takes time and we need to move quickly. And so we have 2 different procurement processes for design consultants going on right now. One, as you can see here, is for the city-funded procurement projects, and the second is for the federally funded procurement projects. The reason we need to do 2 different procurement processes, there's a lot of different requirements regarding the federal CDBG funding. We actually, for number 2 here on the slide, we issued our notice of final rankings for consultants just yesterday, I think. And we are going to be recommending to award to 2 different consultants. So we're pleased to have 2 different consultants reply to that bid request for proposals, and will be in front of the mayor and city council for those recommendations in late October. The city funded procurement design process actually closes today. So I'm hopeful that we get good participation in that as well. And we're going to be recommending the award of that pending good proposals at the same city council meeting in October. Our goal, and so Rajani, if you could go to the next slide. Our goal of that, these procurement processes is to get as much capacity to design projects as we possibly can through the consultant process so that we can move as quickly as we can to implement these projects for the public. This is just a quick, I'm not going to read every date in detail here. This is something that has been presented to the city council in the past. Lists the projects that have been completed and are ongoing and pending. And these dates are our target dates right now. But as I mentioned, as we start engaging these design consultants and look at their capacity and their ability to move quickly, we may be able to adjust some of these dates as we continue to move forward. We're all going to say many times today, the sooner we get these projects done, the better for our residents and our children in San Jose. Next slide, please. And this is still mine, I think. So there's a lot going on right now. I've talked about some of this already. We're completing the procurement process for the design consultants. We are going to continue to work with them to optimize the schedule for the projects to complete them as soon as we can. And then the Yerba Buena project will be completed by December of this year. And we're going to be in front of you, like I said, later this month for to award these design consultant processes. And then in November, we're going to be in front of the Mayor and City Council to seek approval of the Eastside Union High School funding agreement to fund future areas. And the next slide. In addition to the Wi-Fi build out in the school district boundaries, we're also working really closely with our partners in the IT, PRNS, City Manager's Office, Library Department on enhancing the indoor and outdoor Wi-Fi at a number of city facilities, community centers, parks, and libraries, as you can see on here. And so that's something that's really important to us. And this is a number of milestones, but we want to, on these projects, we want to track ourselves very carefully and closely to make sure that we can get these open as soon as we can. And so these projects have already gone out for bid, and we're targeting finishing by the end of the year, as you can see here, right before Christmas, and having the available for public use by early January. This is the end date by early January. We anticipate bringing facilities on as we go, and similar to the my discussion on the outdoor Wi-Fi projects, we're really hopeful that we get good bids on these projects, because our capacity to move quickly is going to be based on the ability of our contractors to move quickly. And we are setting those expectations in our bids, and we're hopeful that we get good bids and can, and we're working really hard to meet these deadlines. I'm meeting with my staff weekly on all these projects to make sure that I'm always personally tracking the deadlines and can be aware and help them work through any challenges. And next slide, please. This is back to Rajani, I think, right?
I think it's me, Matt.
Oh, Jill, thank you.
Yeah. So as each attendance area is completed and activated for our students and then for the general public, it's important to build both community awareness and our residents' ability to access and use the network. So we've developed materials in 3 languages to distribute through our city services, our schools, and our other community partners. And we're working on a unified landing page for the community Wi-Fi that will assist potential users in accessing not only the Wi-Fi networks, but the live chat support, and also the page is intended to link users to other related resources through both the city and our formal partnerships. So those are things that are in development and more to come. Next slide. And these infrastructure projects obviously would not be possible without involvement of strong partners from local government, as well as academia, nonprofit organizations, local industry, and the telecommunications sectors. And we always want to acknowledge that. And then lastly, this slide features a very recent image submitted by a local parent when providing feedback on her new SJE Access Hotspot. So we wanted to share it as we conclude our report and turn it over to the committee for any questions. You don't have to raise your hand like that, but you've got to really appreciate the enthusiasm there. Thank you.
So with that, we conclude our presentation and turn it back to you, Mr. Chair. I've got to say, this girl is now my hero. She is my meme that is inspiring me every single day. So thank you, Jill. Thank you, Matt. Thank you, Rajani, and everybody else responsible on the implementation side. Back to you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you for that presentation, team. Let me go to public comments. We see one speaker, Mr. Beekman. You have the floor.
Hi, can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Thank you. Hi, Blair Beekman here, one speaker, one public speaker. About, these are, items that for all our needs of, filling the digital divide, I hope we are, we're knowing how to also address the needs of open public policies that are defining the ton of new technology that you're putting in to local communities. I just think to learn to work hand in hand with such a process would just greatly benefit the entire community and be actual terms of helping bridge the digital divide. And it just simply it is the ways to understand ourselves as a culture and what we're going through in this time of COVID-19. So, people just don't feel inundated and just forced to have this technology put onto them, 4G and new 5G. My ideas of open public policy are not hostile. They're just simply to be a part of the process that really can empower, the local community and give people the feelings and the ideas of equity and good practices of a community. And that's how you build a whole community process. It's not just dumping in a ton of technology. And, I hope we can take these lessons to heart. It's important. And I have more to say, obviously, on this subject. My brain is freezing up with 15 seconds. I have a lot more to say, and it's not coming to me, but, good luck. Oh, Vision Zero step. This can really relate to Vision Zero step and neighborhood safety. They're getting their demands met. Now let's work on the demands of open public policy as well. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Mr. Beekman. We'll return to my colleagues, and I want to acknowledge for the record that Mayor Cardo and Councilmember Jimenez have joined us. Councilmember Davis, please.
Thank you, and I want to thank staff for all your hard work and for the presentation, but especially for all your hard work. I know it's more than, much more than the presentation. I just have one question, and I'm just having seen the list for the indoor-outdoor Wi-Fi at city facilities. First of all, thank you for having Bascom on the list. That's a very important area that very much needs it. And then one that is not in my district, one site that's not in my district, but I noticed was not on the list and is also in an area that probably needs it, is Gardner Community Center. So I'm wondering if maybe they have it already and I don't know, but why is that one not on the list?
Regina, do you want to take that one?
So when we identified all the list of sites, that one in particular did not. I want to say it didn't have fiber for us to connect to, because we were trying to expedite where we can deploy outdoor Wi-Fi. So that was part of the challenge, is that we needed to have a fiber connection in order to have an outdoor Wi-Fi.
So I live in the neighborhood and I live just south of there. Rajani, I can chat with you. I'm pretty sure they have fiber because we have it in our neighborhood.
Okay, you can double check.
I think they do, but I'll chat with you offline about it. Thank
Definitely
you.
a high need area, so let's take a double look at that. We will definitely do that.
If I could just add, this project has allowed us to advance some plans that PRNS had for some time to enhance their indoor and outdoor Wi-Fi at several of their facilities. And so it is part of a bigger plan. And so as you said, we can all follow up on it and make sure that there are plans for expansion and find out where Gardner would fall within that.
That would be great. They're right across the street from a school, so I know they would very much appreciate it. Thanks.
All right, Vice Mayor Jones.
Thank you, Chair. I want to first of all thank staff. I know this has been a major effort to accomplish what you've accomplished so far. So I want to recognize the whole team for everything you've done. My only question actually is with the Wi-Fi and the hotspots. Do we have any gaps in terms of coverage for students in need, or would the plan that we have in place cover all the students who would need access to broadband and devices?
I think that's a great question, and it's kind of the big question right now. So currently, working with all of the school districts in San Jose, our understanding is that the hotspot between the hotspots and other efforts that each of them have employed that the connectivity need has effectively been met. I mean, I would say that with a lot of caveats, I'm sure. And we'll keep working with them. I think the question, we have is that our solution, as council knows, is for 1 year with the hotspots. We hope to work with the schools, and we're going to be working with schools and their households, as well as circulating devices through the library that we can hopefully continue into year 2. But we need to figure out how much of these other infrastructure projects can come online to start to fill the ongoing gap. And I think so that's, we're working on different ways to map it. We did an original map that we shared with council, but to really help us understand, where are the current solutions and how are all the things we're doing this year helping to fill it for the next year, and then where are the gaps at that time.
And my yes and to our director of digital inclusion would be that just a little bit of detail on the hotspots. First of all, I have to do a little bit of brand recognition because they've really gone above and beyond. These are AT&T hotspots. They are quite high end, and our evidence that Jill has been filtering back to me and others is that they're very well received and very reliable. And in addition to the over 15,000 hotspots that we've got circulating around the city in various forms, the AT&T is building out their small cell network proactively in areas which are likely to have connectivity issues, and also likely to have a concentration of students needing connectivity. And so they've proactively, I think we have about 67 additional small cells that have come online specifically in those areas to boost connectivity and speed for exactly the type of students who need them. So we found that this is actually a very good solution. In addition, there was some, as we were going forward, we realized there were some charges that were on the devices that were going to increase the cost for us, completely legitimate. AT&T went back to the well and lowered their data plan prices again. And again, this is both an unrestricted and unlimited data plan. So there's no throttling and no limit. And they lowered the monthly fee even more to make sure that we wouldn't have to raise our budget in terms of what we did. So this offers a remarkably solid solution to it. I think the complexity, as Jill has pointed out, is making sure that the schools have realized what their need is and are getting them into those hands. And on that, we rely very much on our individual school districts and the charter schools to help us understand that need, because there's really no way that we can have that granular understanding, because we don't have the access to the data of the students because of privacy and proprietary issues. So I suspect that as we learn more, there still is some more need to be uncovered. The AT&T has said if we want to add more into this, if we can find funding, they are amenable to it. I think the funding question will be one on our side, but I think hopefully at this point we also might get some school district partners or county partners who are willing to put additional funds in if those are needed. So there is a way to scale quite rapidly. Jill and her team have proven that you can throw a couple thousand devices at them and they can get that out in the field surprisingly rapidly. We have the ability to scale if we uncover additional needs and we can find additional funding.
No, I really appreciate that. I have every expectation that you and your team will come up with some creative solutions to continue the hotspots, because I think that's going to be critically needed in the coming year. So after this year is over, and so that was my only question. I didn't want to being ex AT&T. I didn't want to be too out there, singing AT&T's praises, but I will have to acknowledge that they've gone above and beyond as well. So thanks for all that you're doing, and I'm looking forward to seeing what the future holds. So thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, go ahead, Mayor Liccardo.
Oh, thank you. Thanks for catching my little blue hand there, Councilmember Davis. Yep. Hey, first, thank you. And I'm sorry I didn't catch the entire presentation, which I'm sure was stellar. I've certainly taken a look at the presentation online. Just a couple quick questions. One is, and if you're not ready to answer this question, I totally get it, Kip, but I know we're working with AT&T on this acceleration of deployment of small cells to cover gaps. And is that geographically targeted now to other neighborhoods outside of Eastside Union High School District because we feel as though we've got the infrastructure there? How are we geographically targeting that effort?
I'm gonna do the top line, and then I'm gonna ask Reggie to clean up on any mistakes I've made and give the more detailed version. But essentially, what we've done is our team has done a pretty sophisticated map looking at a combination of different types of needs, and Ann Grabowski also can weigh in on this, and where the gaps in coverage are, and then we shared that with AT&T. So it's not just saying go to the east side and build out; it's build out where there's a combination of need for students, real socioeconomic issues, and gaps in coverage. So those 67 are not restricted to the east side, and I believe they are continuing their build out based on that data-driven formula, connecting actual need to coverage gaps. So I'm going to ask now the people who actually did the work and know more about it to check in and make sure that I haven't misstated their good work. Reggie, Ann?
Thanks, Kip. Ann Grabowski with the library and EOC Digital Inclusion. Kip's right that our data team, specifically Bobby Rodrock on the library team, has built a full demographic index that identifies at the census tract level where we have large areas of unconnectedness, poverty, and large numbers of the student population. And so we've actually given that to our carriers that we're working with on small cells so that they can include that in their business determinations about where to build small cells, and are continuing to converse with them about where we'd like to see them put those small cells. We're also in a business cycle, or it seems that we're in a business cycle loop with the carriers where they're phasing but they're starting to take a look at building out their fiber backbone to support the small cells that are in permitting right now. And so this is a good time for additional future planning of additional small cell sites. And we're continuing to talk to them about where their future, 2-year out sites will be based on that data index.
And thank you. Have any of those small cells actually hit the polls yet on this separate effort where we're trying to really focus in high poverty communities, or is that still a ways out?
Reggie, how many of those 67 are Ann, or how many of those 67 are online? Do we know?
I don't have that information, but we can get back to you.
Even just a general sense. I mean, I'm just curious. You said 67. Forgive me, I missed that. Was that 67 small cells or 67 locations, or?
The last data I had was 67 small cells, kind of directly in response to this. My number may be outdated, so any update that you have.
So if in a broad sense, how far out do we think we are from, say, getting the 67 deployed?
We'll check back in, Mayor, on what the status of those permits are and where they are in construction. I think as this committee knows, the city's interaction with the points and interventions of construction is limited, and the carriers have more information than we do about where they are in those processes. And so to be accurate, I'd like for us to take a step back and check in, and then we can circle back around with the committee.
Okay. And I'm sorry, I don't want to make anybody do more work than necessary. More than anything, I was just trying to understand the timing relative to, I know we have conversations that we're hoping to have about how we could restructure cellular data agreements and so forth. And so just trying to get a sense of what that looks like. Are we close to striking those deals, or is that a ways off?
I'm sorry, I missed the drift on that one.
So I know that we had some interest in exploring with the telecoms, whether restructuring the cellular data deals in a way that could enable, for example, students in a school district to piggyback on a data plan that the school district has. I'm just curious, is that, have we got any traction on that? Are they receptive to that at all? Or are we a ways off?
Jill, do you want to weigh in on that one?
Well, I was just going to say that's something that we have prioritized to address before the end of this year with the Hotspot Plans.
Okay.
So I don't know if other more specific conversations have been had about that one piece. We have been facilitating conversations between the different telco providers and the County Office of Education, so that a number of different potential strategies are being discussed.
Okay.
Yeah, and they have rolled out, County Office of Education has rolled out information on the existing plans, but as you know, some of the complexity was making sure that those were easy to apply to, straightforward. And so we had some early discussions about kind of making those more automatic, but we haven't had a breakthrough yet on that.
Okay, thanks. And then you described it was 60 or 70% coverage within the East Side Union High School District in the coverage areas. Is that just due to the physical limitations of the Wi-Fi just not being able to get everywhere?
Actually it's the funding limitations. So yeah, you're correct. So that's the reason. But we try to maximize it to ensure that at least primarily the students, and then also just surrounding, community within those attendance areas, they get the coverage.
Yeah. Have we explored, whether we could, use a little tape and glue here to pull it together with some boosters and so forth to try to strengthen the signal in different areas, or have we exhausted all those options?
Yes, Mayor. So as you might recall, in the digital inclusion expenditure plan, we did actually, and council approved, a separate line item for specifically that purpose, that as new attendance areas come online, we know that we learn through that process that sometimes there's a certain, part of a street that doesn't get good coverage, or a certain neighborhood. And so through Reggie and the team's leadership, was able to put aside about $500,000 for additional devices, antennas, whatever they're called, for just that purpose, to enhance the effectiveness of each attendance area.
Wonderful. Okay, thanks, Jill. And last question is just around the libraries and community centers piece. So are the signals powerful enough so that any parent who drives their car into a parking lot at that community center, or is on the street near the community center, can their child get online that way?
Yes. The purpose in the planning for those sites was to have powerful enough access points and enough access points to cover the outdoor parking areas, and to provide enough bandwidth for meaningful and intentional internet interaction for that.
Awesome. Great. Well, thank you everybody for really this extraordinary work. It's wonderful to see. Thank you.
Thanks. Rajni, I just had a question about one of the slides you put up. There was a slide where the city funding, the federal funding, and the Eastside Union funding. I was just curious if that is the amount that we're each putting in, or is that a breakdown of some larger amount?
That's the breakdown of funding for each one of those sites. And so I do need to get a funding agreement to get some of the additional funding from Eastside Union, but those are the breakdowns.
So you add across to get the total amount of investment. Is that fair?
Yeah.
Okay.
Each project. Yeah.
Got it. Given the fact Eastside's been a great partner, AT&T's been a great partner, given the fact that Superintendent Funk is leaving too soon, but soon, do we anticipate any changes in that partnership, or any bumps in the road that we have to address or be aware of?
Well, we are absolutely committed to getting an MOU in place prior to Superintendent Funk's departure. He's very committed to this project, and he brought the first concept to us, as you recall. And also their director of technology has been very, very involved, and will continue to be. So the short answer is no. We hope we're going to do everything possible to avoid a change to that.
Okay. And then I just want to ask about the deployment of between the hotspots and the small cells. What do we know about dead zones? Like, will the signal go around a tall building or a tall tree or like a hillside? What do we know about any of that?
Which signal? They're two completely different types of technologies.
Got it.
Do you want me to just give the high-level question?
So hotspot, shortwave, long wave.
Yeah. So cellular tends to have pretty good penetration and pretty good coverage. When you put a small cell up, you can imagine that certainly for a 6 to 10 block radius around that small cell, if you had drop coverage before or weren't able to get any bars, everybody will be able to get a bar. right? And then the closer you get to the small cell, the faster that sucker gets. So by the time you're in within 3 blocks, you're just screaming in terms of broadband. So that's cellular, and it has a normal propagation that you have with cellular. It's pretty decent at going into buildings unless it's a very thick building or unless it's very high up and away from the antennas. So you'll see that the cellular coverage being good in lots of places. Wi-Fi tends to attenuate more quickly than cellular, and especially if you have an older house with lave and plaster or heavier materials in the wall, you'll notice that your signal does not get through your house very well. So Wi-Fi from the outside community Wi-Fi into the house can be very problematic. And that's where boosters or other technologies are useful, or you may have certain parts of the house that you might want to be in, is the way I would describe it. But again, there is a possibility of boosting in, but it attenuates more quickly and radically than the cell coverage does. So that's an overly simplified. Rob, you know far more about this than I do. I probably should let you answer it. Anything you'd add?
Only one thing is the propagation of the larger network. It is cost prohibitive to get 100% coverage of something like a Wi-Fi network.
The larger Wi-Fi network.
Of the Wi-Fi network, yeah. And so we do have to optimize the spread and the number of access points, because for that last 5, 10, 1%, your cost, it goes way, way up in orders of magnitude to get those last few people. So hence why the mix of modes is very important.
Yeah, I think that's super important, because Reggie did talk about it being budget, but it's an optimization of budget issue. If we thought it was worth the money, we would have come back to you for more money, but we felt it was better to leave those coverage gaps given the excessive price and fill those gaps with things like hotspots or other solutions, rather than asking for the full coverage to get to 100% because of the issues that Rob raised. So I think that's a very good detail.
And so that's where SJE Access comes in. You can get a hotspot from the library now. You don't have to be a student, and you just go in and grab one.
Nice.
Okay. So then this is just a broader question, unrelated but more big picture. The idea behind the internet, or the promise of the internet, was global connection and shrinking the size of the world as we know it globally, and it certainly has done that. In recent days, months, we were seeing this fight between China and the United States and technology and all that, and so it's almost like the world is diverging and pivoting towards multiple internets. It's not a World Wide Web anymore, but it might be walls setting stuff up, and the talk of, or the principle of what, open data and internet for all. Now that we're in COVID and so many people are working at home, tolling the signal, students, and not just people playing video games and whatnot, do we need to reassess this notion of like throttling, or like creating super highways for medical purposes or government purposes, or and I know we can't do it at the city, but I'm just putting it out there as food for thought. Broadly.
Well, what's interesting is, we've been in lots of communications with our major telco partners. So AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile, which is now merged with Sprint, as well as Comcast. All of them have been doing massive work adjusting and realigning their networks to the new usage patterns. I think what's pretty remarkable, I will say this, it varies from network to network how successful they've been on that. So depending on who you subscribe to, you may have a great experience or a less than great experience, but all of them are currently struggling with that, and some have been able to successfully surmount it. One of the nice things that we see about the small cell deployments, which we're primarily doing with Verizon and AT&T, is that they have been able to meet some of that shift in a way that we think is pretty significant. But yeah, it has changed the network patterns and where they need data flowing and how they need it flowing and the time of day. And they've been really working hard to try to adjust to it. So the proof is in the pudding, so we'll still see, but I think you'll see significant shifts that will probably stay beyond COVID, as I would expect we'll have significant numbers of people continuing to work from home in this valley as we move back to whatever the new normal looks like.
But we're probably not anywhere near taxing the maximum bandwidth of our networks yet.
Depends on where you are. There have been pinch points. There've been network failures. But again, the good news about the $500 million build out credit to Dolan negotiated with AT&T and Verizon is that gives us the capability to meet any conceivable demand that we have for the next 5 years.
Okay, excellent. Sounds good. I see no further questions from my colleagues or the public. Can I get a motion to approve or accept the report?
So moved.
Second.
All right. Roll call vote, Tony?
Jimenez,
Yes.
Davis,
Aye.
Ricardo,
Aye.
Jones.
Aye.
Yeah,
Aye.
thank you.
All right, on to our second and final item of the day.
I believe that Rosalind will be starting us off on this, as well as Ty, Zhao Li, and Alex Powell. Rosalind, all you.
Thank you, Kip. Good afternoon, Chair Diab, members of the committee, and members of the public. Rosalind Huey, Director of Planning, Building, and Code Enforcement, and we're glad to be with you today to give you an update on the integrated permitting system, which we've rebranded, and we're calling this now our Development Services Transformation Work. So next slide. So beginning in December of 2018, the team took a new approach to our development services transformation work. Using a system called objectives as measured by key results, we set 4 high-level objectives to frame our work. The first 2 objectives focus on solving pain points for our external customers, a simple self-serve digital experience, and a clear, consistent, and effective process. The last 2 focus on improving the experience for our internal customers, our employees. We want to build a strong collaborative team, and we want to provide great internal tools to enable more teamwork. Next slide. It's actually been a while since we've updated the committee on our work. In fact, we were last before you in June of last year. And we're pleased that since that time, we've made significant progress and accomplished several milestones. So I'm going to walk through these on the slide. First, we've made several improvements in the environmental review or CEQA process. Staff will share more details later in the presentation on this, but I do want to highlight that we have established a list of pre-qualified environmental consultants. This means that our project applicants can select any one of the 13 consultants who have been already pre-qualified to start their work on environmental analysis. In October of last year, we launched 6 new Amanda workflows, which create operational efficiency and make our work folders ready to integrate into other new digital processes. Our major accomplishment last November was the upgrade of our permitting system from Amanda 6 to Amanda 7. This new platform sets us up for new technology enhancements, and we'll be speaking more about that today as well. In January of this year, we improved the imaging process for the planning division, which saves hundreds of staff hours each year. And later in the presentation, Tai Chao Li will share more about her work in that area. And in April of 2020, we launched the Digital Building Inspection Form. This was very timely, as also at this time we were responding to the COVID-19 emergency. The digital form helps to keep our building inspectors safe in the field, and it also allows our customers to get quicker access to the inspection notes. In April 2020, we made significant upgrade for fire review in the Amanda system, which will enable future integrations into the electronic plan review process. And lastly, in August of this year, we launched SJE Plans. This allows electronic plan review for public work permits and 5 major planning permits. Next slide. So we wanted to take the opportunity just to share some of the great photos from our development services team. This is from the period where they were preparing for the major upgrade of Amanda 6 to Amanda 7. And this was a huge undertaking. About 70 staff participated in this process. They worked long hours, worked on the weekends to ensure that the system was ready for the upgrade. So actually this upgrade concludes a cloud-based GIS. electronic content management system, and digital workflows that enable our staff to process permits more efficiently. And the real importance of this system upgrade is how it now sets us up for future improvements. The new platform was the first step to enable us to implement additional technologies such as an updated public portal that will enhance the customer experience for online permits and submitting plans online. So next, I am going to turn the presentation over to Tai Chow Lee, who will walk us through the improvements that we've made in the CEQA process, the imaging process in the planning division, and our recently launched integrated electronic plan review process.
Thank you, Rosalind. So good afternoon, everybody. My name is Tai Chow Lee, Supervising Planner with the Planning Division, and I am also one of the subject matter experts on our Development Services Transformation team. As Rosalind has pointed out, my part of the presentation will focus on providing you all with a little bit more details on 3 digital and process improvement that the Development Services team have completed since the last time we met. The environmental review process, the planning imaging, and the most recently launched SJE Plans software. So the first one is the environmental review process. As you know, every permit or every development proposal has an environmental review component to it, and we have to be consistent and abide by the California Environmental Quality Act, or CEQA for short. So some of the improvements that we've made internally for ours and externally is that, one, we eliminate the firewall, which now allows applicants to view certain CEQA documents so that applicants can be more informed and have and can provide alternative design to reduce environmental effects and lessen or reduce the number of environmental mitigation measures. Number 2 is that, as Rosalind pointed out, we have developed a short list of pre-qualified CEQA consultants for which applicant can choose from. And as part of that, we also launch or relaunch more consistently a meeting with our environmental consultant as part of the environmental consultant roundtable. The intent of the roundtable is to keep the consultant community up to date with our process and our procedures, and this helps reduce questions and confusion during the environmental scoping stage. Planning also hosted multiple CEQA trainings for staff within the planning department and also with staff in other departments as well. This is to enhance staff understanding of the law, the process, and overall just get staff to be more comfortable with CEQA. And the environmental team also reestablished protocol for quality control on our documents. And we are also currently working on a template for one of our most used environmental document, I would say. And the intent of this template is to provide clarity to our consultants on what we expect in our documents. And this will ultimately reduce time in review and enhance the quality of our product. Next slide, please. So the planning imaging. This was actually extra. We did outside of our work plan last year, and it proved to be something very exciting for staff. After a permit is completed, planning goes through what we call an imaging stage. What that means is we take all of the plan sets, the physical plan set, prints out all our correspondence, emails from the community, and we would package it and we would give it to our staff for scanning to go directly onto our SJE permits or our public portal. The old method usually takes a project manager or our support staff around 2 to 4 hours to prep for the imaging. And the preparation process, again, includes packaging all hard copies of plans, documents, and correspondence. We would then place it in a physical bin for staff to scan. Depending on the queue, the delay for when the product goes into the queue to get onto our SJE permits website could be pretty lengthy. And furthermore, the quality, as you can see on the slide of the old method, is that it's usually in black and white and it's not a searchable PDF. Our new method reduces that prep time to 30 minutes to an hour and a half. And instead of printing or reprinting hard copies of our documents, we're able to utilize the electronic plans and documents that we already have, place it into a server, And then our IT team could run a script or a code every week and directly transfer those documents onto our public portal. Also, the quality also improved because those plans that we have are colored and they're searchable PDFs. The bottom line of this improvement here is that we observe time saving for our staff and better product for the public. And this also proved to be extremely useful during the shelter-in-place situation, as this helps eliminate the need for staff to access our facility for stamping and for printing out large quantity of correspondence. Next slide, please. So the new SJE plans, we have a little logo on the left side there. The Department of Public Works and Planning Division have successfully launched the new electronic review system called SJE Plans on August 31st. So this has been in use for at least a month already. The intent of this product is to facilitate electronic plan submission and review for many of the large permits in planning and most of the permits in public works. So before this, each division, each department within development services team have slightly different methodology for receiving electronic plans, reviewing the plans, and storing comments and coordination to our applicant team. SJE plans consolidate all our development review procedure and processes into a single platform. This includes being able to integrate with our existing project tracking system, the Amanda 7 that Rosalind pointed out early on in the presentation. The SJE plan is a more intuitive tool for marking up the plans and receiving comments, but most importantly, it provides customers with a single platform to electronically submit materials, receive the materials, and then receive communication to and from all the departments within development services for a single project or a single permit. So on this slide kind of highlights some operational changes and improvement that SJE plans have provided actually, since it's been in use for a month already. So application submittal. Because of the current pandemic, a lot of our submittal have been electronic through either an FTE site or through our email. But with this product, we now have a formal consolidated platform for customer to not only get rid of spending money to print larger plan sets, and this will probably be in use even after our pandemic is over. Number 2 is plan processing and triaging. Staff would be able to save time on tasks such as rerouting the plans and ensuring that each department gets them. This system will send an automatic email notification at certain milestone that's been already preset into our business practice to let our development services partner know when something has been submitted, resubmitted, and that you have a task on hand. Note that we were already doing this, but more of through emails, but this will be automatic. Common coordination, collected from all development services reviewers will now be on one platform for the applicant to access and to view. So they kind of get rid of multiple emails going to them back and forth. And plan review and markup. Staff with SJE plans, staff can compare previous plan versions and identify changes that have been made on the plans easier and provide markup directly onto the plan set. For example, our memo usually reads something along of, hey, on sheet number 5, revise X, Y, and Z. But now our memo could say, please go to sheet number 5 and see our exact comments. And we're able to provide and mark up the exact area that need to be revised on the plan itself. Project coordination. While we do have one project manager that would consolidate all comments from each development services partner and coordinate that with the customer, this product gives us a new platform for customers to access those material outside of just emails. And the coordination functionality and advantage of this software is that it gives us more tools and more options to constantly improve our business practice. So the phase 1 of SJE plans is for public works and planning. The phase 2 of SJE plan would be for fire prevention permits and building permits. And that part is expected to be completed in 2021. So now I will turn over the presentation to Alex Powell for an update on the building digital inspection form.
Thanks, Ty. Alex Powell with Planning, Building, Code Enforcement and product owner of the Development Service Transformation. So the final major project of the transformation team or major milestone that has been accomplished is the digital inspection form we started with building and we're starting to deploy and build for code enforcement and for fire inspections. So the digital inspection form, as Rosalind brought up and mentioned a bit before, was very timely due to the COVID-19 crisis and the fact that we didn't want our inspectors going into City Hall and picking up paper plans all at one time, which they used to do. Now with the new digital inspection form, or formerly known as mobile inspections, our inspectors with their tablets can get the inspection assignments, these notices, automatically sent to their tablets. So they know exactly where they need to go and they can fill out their forms without ever having to come into City Hall for that coordination meeting in the morning. There's numerous benefits to this new tool that has been deployed back in April, including the time saving for both the staff and the administrative staff to actually create these forms each day. And also for inspectors who no longer, of course, need to come into City Hall, park in the garage, get over and upstairs to pick up these plans and also drop them off. In the middle of the slide, you see what a previous building inspection notice looked like. And of course, our building inspectors filled these out by hand, which often took a long time and pretty frequently included handwriting that was difficult to read. These forms would be brought back into City Hall at the end of the day, scanned and put on to our SJE permits platform or our public website for our customers to access, a process that took multiple days and oftentimes with the character recognition software we were using, oftentimes resulted in errors that were imported into our permitting system. So this is a key part of the integrated permitting project and integrating that inspection noticing portion. So of course, and you can see on the far right-hand side an example or really a test of one of our digital inspection forms now. These new forms, of course, as I mentioned, our inspectors will fill out on their tablets using voice to text technology. So they can fill them out a bit quicker and can actually just verbalize what it is that they're seeing on the site. So this is saving right now what we're seeing is that it's saving our inspectors almost an hour each day, not having to pick up the slips and also not having to handle the paper. But it also increases the speed at which our customers can get access to these notices to understand what has been accomplished or what milestones in the construction process has been completed. This previously would take 2 to 5 days, and oftentimes is taking as short as 5 minutes, but definitely within 2 hours of the inspection being completed. As soon as the inspector saves this form, it's automatically uploaded into our central permitting system and then published online for our customers to find. So in addition to all the staff hours that this saves, of course, we're saving a good amount of paper and ink, what we believe to be about $70,000 each year in savings. So for the next slide, while we have a lot of technology improvements that have happened over the past really year since we last presented to the Smart Cities Committee, there obviously has been a major disruption with the COVID-19 crisis. And one of the important items that we've been looking at is how long has it been taking for building permit issuance from the moment that a customer is submitting their application to the moment that they're getting their permit and can begin construction. We did an analysis on 3 major permit types. Some are more common and more commonly known application types. First is the home addition alterations. These are the typical additions to your home, a kitchen remodel, adding stairs, garage conversion type projects, one of our more frequent application types. The second in the middle is tenant improvements. These are similar to the home addition alterations, but mostly for commercial and industrial properties, typically for a restaurant opening, any installation they need to do, or maybe a new office tenant with major renovations to their space. And then finally, on the right-hand side is the new construction. This is what we think of as the typical new building that's being constructed or anything even as small as an ADU or a single family home. So what we're finding with the COVID-19 crisis for our home addition and alterations and tenant improvements has been a bit of a spike of the time it takes to get to permit issuance. When the permit center closed in like March, there was obviously a slowdown in the permits that were being issued. And then obviously, as we picked up we picked up the pace of the permit issuance process, we started to recognize, and you can see from the graphics below, that our permits were taking several months to get permitted. The only item that sort of bucked that trend was the new construction projects. And this aligns with previous presentations that we have given to the council on the focus on high impact projects, considering the economic development impacts and making sure that those new construction projects aren't delayed by the closure of the permit center or staff working from home. So we've fortunately seen a relatively consistent days to permit issuance for new construction. Additionally, for the home additions and tenant improvements, you can see historically these processes have taken under 3 weeks, typically less than 1 week for tenant improvements. And this is due mostly to the processes that we had previously for these two permit types. Home addition alterations are typically permitted by over-the-counter processes. You bring in the appropriate plans, our permit specialists at the counter can check them, and they're usually able to walk out with a permit, maybe with some minor corrections or missing documents that they can bring back. Similar for the tenant improvement applications, our special tenant improvement or STI program typically brings together all the reviewers necessary for these types of applications. So for quick comments with a meeting with all the important stakeholders, so a customer can get their permit as quickly as possible. So as we sort of enter the late months of summer, our permit center operations are returning to normal, but we continue to track this to make sure that we advance and we continue to provide building permit services in a timely way. So now to talk about next steps, I'll turn it back over to Rosalind.
Great, thank you, Alex. So we are excited that we've been able to accomplish a lot of our work of the last several months, but obviously, yes, there's more work to be done. And so we want to share with the committee where we're headed between now and the end of the fiscal year. So first, we are about to launch later this month a re-platforming of SJE permits. So this is our public portal. So we're launching this in an effort to set us up for future improvements for the public portal. We're also going to be rolling out the digital inspection form for fire prevention services in early 2021. So we're delighted that this digital form will be, the fire department will have access to that, and will also provide more access for our customers. The next 3 items, we're very excited about this, that we'll be able to add new permits to SJE Plans. So we will be adding fire. We'll be expanding the planning permits that are made available for our customers. And very importantly, we're going to be adding building permits to SJE Plans. And then the last item is the final improvement to the public portal, SJE Permits. And so we'll be developing enhancements, including GIS integration and E-Plan integration that we know that our customers have been looking for quite some time. So this ends staff's presentation, and we'd be happy to answer any question the committee has.
All right, we'll go to the public first. Mr. Beekman, you're on.
Hi, Blair Beekman here. Thank you for this item. It was more of an internal item, how you talk to yourselves within city government. You know, I hope my words that I always try to offer that, you know, when you work within city government and work towards open good practices, that's how you can, you know, build out, and that's and the everyday public, they can feel that if you're working towards an openness and accountability with issues. And a good way to start is eternally with yourselves and wanting to do those practices, and so that's important. There was a UN General Assembly meeting all the past couple weeks, and there was some really interesting topics the speakers talked about. You know, each country got to speak on subjects and summarize their ideas and feelings. There was a few mentions about the ideas of cybersecurity, and that actually can be a process to invite the everyday public more too. So for you know, programs like this, ways to, I don't know specifically this program, but just there can be ways to invite the public more to the cybersecurity process, not just the everyday process. And that's an important component when you're talking about transparency and and to say that we're not building ourselves in the name of warfare, and that we're building ourselves in the name of peace and open democracy. And, you know, those are the concepts that if you talk about with each other, that's the stuff that everyday community feels and, you know, and wants to participate in. And that's the community harmony ideas that are really important and that have to be considered as important as innovation goes as tech itself. So that's my usual. So thanks for this item. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Mr. Beekman. All right, returning to my colleagues, Councilmember Davis.
Thank you, Chair. And thank you, staff, for this update. I know we got one in ad hoc, and I have a couple of questions, and maybe they're follow-up from discussion that we had at ad hoc. But the first one is about the digital inspection forms. I think this is a great addition. One of the things I didn't hear, and I just want to understand. So it's awesome that it's available within 2 hours to the customer. Are previous inspection forms available when an inspector goes for follow-up? So one of the things that had changed in the workflow some years back is that we have different inspectors going out to the same site so that we could get inspections more quickly. And one of the downstream impacts of that is that inspectors have different ideas about things. So sometimes something would be signed off, and I experienced this myself in a remodel about 10 years ago, and I know that it continues to be an issue because other residents of mine have brought it up more recently, that something that was signed off on a previous inspection will then be reopened by the subsequent inspector when they're just supposed to be coming to check off the boxes on items that were still open. And so I'm wondering how this digital inspection form, whether it will be available to subsequent inspectors, and whether something is already signed off makes it a closed item.
Great question, council member. And yes, this is why we're really excited that we are able to roll out the digital inspection form, because all of the inspectors will be using it. They each have their tablets. And so if there is, in your example, a different inspector who is at a site, he or she can pull up the previous comments and refer to them, as well as the customer, right? So I know that that has been a big pain point in the past, that if a different inspector is on the site, some customers were getting additional comments that they hadn't previously received. So we hope that going digital, having the comments, you know, on their tablets, and again, with the customers having access to the information as well to help solve that problem.
Great. And so if there's an item on there and it's in the green box, does that mean the next inspector doesn't look at that item? They just go into the ones that were an orange or red box or that hadn't been inspected before? Is that kind of the work process?
Yeah. Alex, can you answer that question?
Yeah, it obviously changes by the scope of it and sort of which category it falls into, and also they have they have many categories within there with a little bit of confusing terminology. But yes, I think the example we were looking at was there's several installations going on, but yes, for the most part, if it's already green, when the next inspection is scheduled, usually it won't include those components, so it won't even be included on the form. If the inspector sees something that isn't that say sort of triggers a red flag for them, they also have the ability to have that as a separate row pending. But usually if it's green, it wouldn't even make it as part of their inspection scope of work.
They would still be able to see if the customer said, hey, the last person already signed off on that, then the inspector would be able to go back and see that it was already signed off. And then is the direction to them, if it's already signed off, it doesn't get reopened?
That's correct.
Okay, thank you. I just wanted to clarify because that has not been people's experience in the past, including our own many years ago. And then in terms of the building permit issuance, I'm concerned about this, and I think, Rosalind, you already know, but I'm especially concerned about the tenant improvement being basically 3 times as high as it used to be. This is an area where, you know, as we have people reopening and reconfiguring and potentially needing to make some changes that require permits based on new rules, that we want to get that going as soon as possible. So how can we get that number back down to the, you know, the 4 to 8 range that it was in before?
Yeah, and obviously this is something that's important to us as well, and helping our customers get to issuance faster. And to your point about there very well may be changes in some of the tenant improvements. So we are doing a number of things. Obviously, there've been impacts, right? We're operating our permitting process and plan review quite differently. So first, we are going to establish very soon, actually, it's rolling out next week, online permit appointments. So at least our customers can have certainty of when they're going to be seen by a staff member. And we'll do it, you know, via Zoom or a telephone call. So we expect that to help. A big part of it is more people. So really glad that we're actually adding more staff. We have 2 new hires that will be starting very soon. We had a person who started in August. And we've also offered overtime to our staff, and we know that we actually have 10 members who are taking advantage of that. So that's definitely going to help us in plan review and getting things out of the door sooner. So that's definitely going to help us. And we've actually reassigned one particular staff member to help out on the plan review side as well. So we think that all of these things will help us, will help our customers get their permits issued faster.
Thank you. And I really appreciate all the work that has gone into, I know Amanda is a very large system, and having to phase it. I think you guys have done a great job, and I'm looking forward to all the time savings. And I mean, $70,000 just on paper, printer, and ink. I mean, even just that, right? Like, that's awesome. So I'm glad that we went down this road, and I know there were many pain points along the way, and it is, as Kip and Rosalind and Rob assured us, it is worth it in the end, right?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, council member.
All right. Given all the references we make to small wonders on this committee, I really think we should have named Amanda Vicky after Vicky from Small Wonders. But anyways, never mind. No, if you're a small wonder.
I remember her.
She's a miracle made of plastic. She's fantastic. Anyways, all right. We're gonna keep going. I have to jump off. I have another engagement around 3. So I'm gonna ask one quick question, just interject, and then ask the vice mayor to take over the meeting for me. Just to follow up on Councilmember Davis's question, the fact that we have digital inspections and you can see the prior notes, how does that prevent the next inspector from saying, well, the last guy forgot this? Because I really think that's the problem. It's not so much that lack of paperwork, but it's different standards or eyeballs looking at the same issue, but seeing multiple different problems. So it's more of a training or getting to some sort of consensus with a consistent grading process.
Yeah, that's a good point. And obviously we're approaching this so that we have empowered our supervisors to really take a very close look and to make sure that the inspectors, understanding what our expectations are. And so they've been giving that guidance and instruction that if something is now green, that work is done. There is no need to undo anything that has already been checked off. So we're going to continue to monitor that. We've empowered our supervisors to do whatever is needed to make sure all of our inspectors are following suit.
Thank you. And I guess my question is simply, given all the time savings that we're doing, there was a comment, a 90-minute process is now 30 minutes. And of course, the cost savings on paper going digital. Will we be able to pass that on at all to the developers and the people looking to do business in our city by way of the service fees and charges to be able to reduce that somehow?
Wow, that's a great question. I mean, that would be ideal if we could get to that end point. I will have to be quite transparent, and the committee already knows that development services, obviously, we're required to be cost recovery. Our cost recovery rate right now is about 81%. So we're not at 100% yet. Each year we have to adjust, right, our fees in order to align them with it's just the cost of staff. And we know that the cost of staff typically increases each year due to salary increases, COLA increases, things like that. So I think it's going to take us some time, first of all, to get to 100% cost recovery. And then when we're at that point, perhaps we could take a look at if there's ever a situation where we might be able to adjust fees. But I think honestly, it's going to take us some time to get there.
So what I'm hearing is the trajectory, even with these improvements, is going to get closer to 100 before we're able to move back down like 70. Is that fair?
I think that's fair. I think that, again, we have to catch up. We have to get to 100% cost recovery, and we'll monitor that, because to your point, with these digital improvements, if it is taking our staff less time to do the work, obviously that should translate into reduced costs to our customers. But I think first we have to get on par to make sure that we're right now and in the future covering the amount of money that we need to pay for just the staff time itself.
Got it. All right. Thank you, Rosalind. All right, Vice Mayor, I'm going to tag you in and please take over the meeting for me.
All right, Chair.
Thank you.
No more Vicky jokes.
I'll be honest with you, that one went right over my head.
I didn't
remember
understand
Small
it.
Wonders?
We should crack
Anyway.
jokes. I don't understand.
Anyway, just a couple of questions. One is, as you roll out, or as we roll out any new technology or any new process, a key component of that is the user experience, both the customers and our city employees. Is there a plan in place to get user feedback on the new process and new technologies so that we can incorporate that feedback early on, as opposed to waiting a year, 2 years, 3 years down the road where it's more challenging to make those changes?
Yeah, that's a great point. And I'll give you an example. Prior to rolling out SJE Plans, for example, we took some of our customers through testing. We wanted to make sure, to your point about user experience, that they had the opportunity to play with the system, to actually submit some applications online. We got their feedback and made some adjustments. But to your point, I think we need to do that regularly to make sure our customer experience is a good one, that it's improved. So that's a key point. And I'm gonna pass over, look at Alex to see if there's anything else that you want to add to that, because Alex has been very involved in working with our customers.
Yeah, and thanks, Rosalind. So I was actually going to bring up that we actually do the same process for one of our next upcoming milestones for sjpermits.org. We actually have external testing happening today. So my inbox has some actual customers who are going through, who are kind enough to dedicate some of their time to actually going through the portal and giving some feedback. So it is a process that we do. I'll say also on the back end, I think part of your question was, how do we make sure that we continue to see if there's any improvements, anything that's changing that isn't working for them? And we have historically had it on our SJ Permits portal, a link for, hey, any feedback. And we typically get a lot about the process. We do get some about the technology as well. So we'll make sure that that's definitely included on the SJ Permits platform. We don't have it right now for SJE Plans. And the reason for that is it's mostly off the shelf from our customer. So again, most of that software configuration is based on sort of the way that the software is built when we purchased it. But we should definitely create an opportunity for somewhere on the city's website where we direct customers to go to provide any feedback that they have.
Next question is on quantifying our investment in this project. I know there's a lot of money, a lot of time has been invested, and I know it's impossible to quantify everything because some things are quantifiable and some things are subjective. But is there any quantifiable data that we have in terms of cost savings and any other financial savings that we were able to to identify? Particularly around it, trying to calculate, say, an ROI, a return on investment for the project.
Yeah, so that's really important because we do want to be able to measure if in fact this is working. It's supposed to be better. The experience is supposed to be better. Processing should take less time, which transfers into customers saving money. So we have been doing some benchmarking. I mean, part of the work that we're doing tracking our permit time to issuance is all about that, because obviously those timeframes should be going down over time. So that is very important work, Vice Mayor. Alex, anything else you want to add there?
Just that performance measures is a part of the transformation work. We focused on the technology, and then we'll map out, just like we did for the permit issuance, we looked to the past 13 months, and we want to see after the technology implementation, what's that impact on time to issuance and staff time. Time tracking is also another piece of work that we're working on among the partners as part of an audit that recently came to council. So once we start tracking our hours better, we actually will get to that point where we can say, how long is a certain application type taking? What does that mean for the dollars and cents payoff?
Great. The reason why I asked that question, again, for future projects, oftentimes, we need to go to the taxpayers and justify why we're making these expenditures. And anytime we can quantify it. And again, I know that some of these projects, it's not all about the ROI, but anytime we can have some numbers or figures to justify the expenditures, or at least make the case, I think it benefits everyone. And then my last question is on slide number 10 on the home additions and alterations. In June and July, the numbers have plateaued, and I want to just get some insight in terms of, is that just a statistical one-off, or are there other issues that are causing that number to plateau?
Just to clarify, you're saying home alterations, sort of this plateau, or the tenant improvement? I apologize.
For the home additions and alterations. So
Yeah,
it went from 99 to 51 to 52.
Right. So
this is almost twice the March level. So I was just wondering if that's just a statistical sample, or if it's just indicative of a trend.
Right. So a little bit, yeah, great question. And there's obviously a couple numbers that are important in play here. In theory, if we permitted one home alteration in a month in one day, that would look like a great statistic. What we had sort of towards the end of March, and then you see that fast uptick, is that sort of as our permit center, we're figuring out how to do remote operations and then teaching our customers to do remote operations. There sort of is this delay of several months, and you sort of see how like the May, April, sort of 2 to 3 months after sort of the shelter in place order and the closure of the permit center happened, that you would typically see that increase. I think the positive side of sort of the downward trend means that there's not this backlog of permits that have been sitting around for 4 months or 5 months that would drive that average up. What sort of that stabilization down means is while we're permitting sort of at a higher rate, and Rosalind's presented us in the past as sort of the increasing amount of permits that are being issued, the decrease means that, there isn't sort of a backlog before. We definitely do have some that are taking a bit longer because of sort of just getting customers acclimated to this new process. But that's sort of why you'd see sort of a peak at one point. And then once that backlog is mostly cleared, we don't have things that were hanging around back from March or February. They're mostly, as they're coming in, they're taking a little bit more time, but everything is moving. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, so as we go to the outer months, August, September, October, you'll see that trend line start to go down again. Once we cycle through the backlog of permits. Is that an accurate summary?
Exactly, yes.
Okay, got it. Well, that's all the questions I have. Mayor?
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Appreciate the presentation very much. Just going to the point that Councilmember Davis raised about how critically important tenant improvements are right now, as folks are just trying to keep the wheels on in their businesses and keep people employed. given that significant number of tenant improvements, I assume are COVID related. They're about moving some walls to enable greater spacing. I'm guessing that's some of what we're getting. I just don't know. You guys have obviously much better sense. Has there been any thought to simply saying, look, we're going to grant automatic provisional permits to everybody so you can just get going, and we'll get around to invest to be able to doing the inspection at our own pace. But, you know, in the meantime, go ahead and open the door.
Thanks, Mayor. So yes, obviously we're focused on helping our customers get their permits issued as quickly as possible. What you propose is very interesting. Something that we can certainly look at. I think perhaps one challenge may be just around building code and safety, and making sure that structures are inspected before they're occupied. I'm sure that that would be a concern for the building official, but something that we can take a look at to see what other measures we can undertake to get these permits out for our TI customers.
Could you give me a sense, Rosalind? Do you have any idea sort of the typical TI permit, well, of the inventory of TI permits we got coming through the pipeline? Any rough sense about what percentage is just people are trying to move the walls or whatever in some way to address a need to be able to have people in there safely for COVID?
Yeah, Mayor, I don't have that information handy right now, but that's something that we can certainly compile and get to you quickly.
Okay, I'm just trying to understand if this is a big problem or a little problem.
Yeah,
And even just understanding that, I don't expect anybody to count. I think it would just be helpful for us to understand if this is something we should be focused on, or if it's a very small percentage of permits, in which case I know it's not working time.
Hey, Mayor, I'm sorry for interrupting. We're about to lose our quorum in a minute. So I would like to take a vote on this item and then allow you to continue your question, if that's okay.
Great.
So if you can make a...
I'll move to approve, accept the report.
Second.
All right, it's been moved and seconded. Can we have a roll call vote, please?
Jimenez,
Yes.
Davis,
Aye.
Licardo,
Aye.
Jones,
Aye.
Dieppe absent.
Okay, I'm just warning anyone who's leaving, this is going to be riveting questioning right here.
Okay, continue, Mayor.
All right, thank you.
I'm not going anywhere.
Thank you. Hey, I appreciate the presentation about imaging from Ms. Tai Chow. Could I just understand better though, why exactly are we spending any time translating a printed document to an image? I thought the whole vision was everyone's going to be submitting stuff electronically, so there's going to be no translation to an image. What did I miss?
So the planning imaging actually took place before the SJE plans. So we wanted to do that improvement even before the SJE plans goes live. So that part was improving our current practice before we have the SJE plan at all. So there was a timeline difference there.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And we realized it was such a pain point that it made sense to do an interim improvement to accelerate the imaging, even though we eventually will translate everything over to a pure digital format, because it was such a pain point and a backlog for staff.
Okay, so there will be a day soon, in a matter of weeks or months, when we are no longer messing with this whole imaging business.
That is our goal for the what we call batch stamp and attachment to. It's still imaging, but it's still going directly to that. But that is part of the SJ permit improvements.
Okay, and please forgive me. I reversed your first and last name. Please forgive me. I should have said Miss Lay. Is that right?
Yes.
I was reading this.
No worries. I've called you on record as a council member before. So
Okay, it's all good. Then we're all even. Cool. So then okay, so are we going to be in a happy paperless world anytime soon where we just do all this stuff so that there's no risk that anyone's going to lose a plan? I mean, we've all heard those horror stories, right? Are we getting to fully electronic records in the next 2 years?
Yes, and actually before.
Okay,
before
go ahead.
2 years. So my goal, our goal, the team's goal is that by the end of this fiscal year, we'll have virtually, well, most of our permits handled electronically. So it'll be a vast majority of the planning permits. We have public works permits already on E-plans. Fire is being incorporated early next year, and those are our partners, right? So significantly improvements and completion by the end of the fiscal year. Because Mayor, to your point, that's where we're headed. We're headed to digital operations, and we'll continue to work on this. It's an adjustment for our staff, and it's an adjustment for our customers, right? Because we know that we're going to have to continue to work with customers, train them, give them the tools that they need to submit things electronically, because many of them have just been used to paper for many, many years. But yes, we hope by the end of this fiscal year to see a lot of progress on that end.
Okay, amen. Thank you for that. Now, I know that also increases our responsibility around security, and I'm sure we can all imagine the spy movie where everyone breaks into City Hall to figure out where the life safety systems are in the building or whatever. But are we confident about the security we've got? So competitors who might be trying to figure out ways to get trade secrets can't figure out how to get in the building.
Mr. Lloyd, that sounds like a question for you, sir.
It is. So we actually have some work that's going to be going through November through the first quarter of next year to take a deeper look into many of these applications. We do have a work plan that we've discussed with PBCE and their IT folks, but we do have some more work to do to dive into that, Mayor, and that's across the city. But we have a great hardening of security that's going to be occurring over roughly the next year.
Okay, I appreciate that. I'm particularly sensitive, as you might imagine, around the tech campuses and so forth that are getting built out. I'd hate to think we're going to make all that public in some way. That is where every detail of the building might be with companies that are really concerned about trade secrets and security and things like that.
Mayor, I'll put that as a special note on our CISO's work plan, so we'll pay special attention to it.
Really appreciate it. Thank you. And then as we're moving to this digital world, the customer, I think you indicated, Rosamund, will be able to have a good idea about what prior comments are, which is great. Will the customer also be able to know whose desk the application is sitting on as it's winding through the process?
Yes, I know that's been a big pain point for many of our customers, and the short answer is yes. They'll be able to see in the public portal which staff member is reviewing.
That's great.
Alex, I see. Did you want to add anything?
Yeah, I'm going to steal Ty's thunder, so I apologize for that, Ty. But again, the SJE Plans portal is not just a way for applicants to submit documents. It's also tracking the process, and it's also tracking the commenting and markups. So again, our reviewers need to put a drawing on there, whether they're from Public Works, from building, from planning, whomever, or from wherever. You can actually see who's the one who made that comment, so you know what's the open comments. It actually says resolved, unresolved. And then, of course, you can find that individual and their email will be right there. So whatever's still remaining open, you can go directly to those, and anyone on the applicant team, should they be added to the portal, can actually see that information.
Hallelujah. That's great. I know we've been talking about this since 2015. I'm just glad that this is coming to life now. And then the final question is, now, are we also going to be able to manage better as a result of this system? That is, to be able to see workflows from 500 applications and how they move through the system and understand where the choke points are, and maybe where some folks could use more training, maybe some folks aren't having as much workload and we can shift more that way. Is this going to really help us as a management tool?
Yes, Mayor, absolutely. It's definitely going to help us as a management tool to see what adjustments that are needed, what training perhaps different staff members may need, or if we see, for example, our customers just need some more help. So it'll help us to manage overall, for sure.
So we'll be able to know to the employee, hey, this particular employee seems to have a hard time with meeting some basic timelines, some standards, right? And oh, maybe they need a little more time in training or some additional attention. Is that something I'll enable you to do?
Yes, that's correct. Yes.
Okay, that's great. Thank you all. Really appreciate it.
And Mr. Mayor, just one thing added on, just to make sure that from my EOC hat, related to your tenant improvement question, I've kind of took your comments and I've formed two questions in my mind. I wanted to echo them back to make sure that they're the right questions. One is, out of the universe of tenant improvements, what of them are directly related to modifications that businesses need to do to get back in business because of COVID?
Yeah.
And two, kind of design thinking, how might we accelerate the process of those in particular so that they can resume work and that we can keep the economy moving? So I just want to make sure.
Yeah, and implicit in that second question is, can we just take the life safety issues, put those aside and focus on all the other permits?
Yep.
And find ways to really just get those guys open.
Yeah, so I just waited on that with the EOC hat on because I think there's, we have a little bit more both complexity and flexibility with the EOC role. So Rosalind and I will engage with the team and think that through, both from a overall development services perspective, but also from an emergency management and economic recovery perspective. And if there are options, we'll bring those back, either act on them or bring them back to council as required.
Really appreciate your willingness to consider. Thank you, Kip. I'm all through. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Mayor. That was riveting. So
I see, I told you, but there were no good jokes like once.
Hanging on the edge of my seat. And thank you, staff, Kip and team, Rob, everyone for all the hard work. Rosalind, thank you for that report. And we've already approved it. So we're now on to open forum and Blair Beekman.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you for the meeting today. That last item was interesting. It may have some interesting involvement with the San Jose Strong Mayor and Council committee process in January, community process. Good luck with that. I guess, I wanted for public open forum to first, I want to very much endorse Anthony Mata as how to look for the future of a police chief in San Jose. I don't know if he will be the ultimate choice, but as you look around the country and within the San Jose Police Department, I hope you really can consider Anthony Mata as how to look for a police chief. Thank you. With that said, I wanted to mention you've been talking about your IoT plans, and this could possibly relate to the previous item that you've talked in previous meetings. You're all set with your IoT policy practices. How set are you? Is there a way someone like myself can understand that and I can be given information exactly what that is? Because I think open public policies with IoT, is part of, excuse me if I want to burp, is part of, just the importance of, all that I'm always talking about and what can develop the ideas of peace and better, better open democratic practices bring the ideas of peace. And that's a really interesting concept. It addresses continual war. It addresses shock doctrine practices and it asks them basically, we have better reasoning, to use. So, I would like to see your IoT public policy ideas and thank you for the meeting today.
Thank you. That's the end of public comments and this meeting is adjourned.